to the member for Barton.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Today we reflect on what makes Australia a very lucky country. And when I look around in my electorate of Barton, I am constantly reminded that it is everyday people that we must thank for it, people committed to open, diverse and inclusive society, a society where, regardless of your individual differences, if you have a dream and the bravery to pursue it, you can achieve it. But some Australians go beyond achieving their own dreams. They look to their community to help others' dreams come true. I rise today to recognise and celebrate one of them, Mr. Kenneth Robert Dunlop, known to many Australians as Ken Dazzler Dunlop, following his award of the Medal of the Order of Australia for his service to professional wrestling. Ken was the first openly gay pro wrestler in Australia, the significance of which he personally plays down. Despite his retirement, his focus remains on lifting up the grassroots sporting tradition he loves and bringing the next generation of athletes along in its success. Ken's career in professional wrestling began in the late 1970s, at a time when there wasn't large television contracts to keep the industry afloat. Instead, this grassroots tradition, which Ken informs me dates back to 1885 in Australia, depended on the dedication of people like him. Over 2 decades, Ken travelled long distances to perform night after night to audiences in their hundreds, crammed into regional venues, leagues, clubs and town halls across the country. This chapter in Australia pro wrestling history has only been recorded because of people like Ken and his autobiography, My Squared Circle. It is no exaggeration to say that Ken was instrumental in keeping Australian pro wrestling alive and can be credited for its continued success and popularity today. When I went to visit Ken not very long ago in his home in the electorate of Barton, I was unsure of what to expect from someone known as Dazzler. But if you look him up, you'll quickly understand why he's nicknamed this. Given to him by his beloved mentor, Roy Heffernan, eventually stuck. There are many images of Dazzler in his heyday, adorned in wrestling suits that were colourful enough to make a rainbow lorikeet blush. He is often depicted with championship belts slung across his shoulder or in mid-flight somersaulting off the top ropes. But I didn't meet Dazzler that morning. I met Ken, a gentle, softly spoken bloke with a heart of gold and an undying love for his sport and the generations of Australians, both young and old, who have fought to keep it alive. Dazzler built a reputation as trustworthy wrestler who took the safety of fellow wrestlers very seriously. He was someone who made his colleagues look good in the ring for the entertainment of the crowd and who passed down technical expertise to the up-and-coming generation. He continues this stewardship in his retirement. He's built not just a career, but a home and a family in the sport that he absolutely loves. When I asked Ken who helped him develop his wrestling style and his persona, he simply said, well, back then you had to just do it yourself. And it's true. Ken had to forge his own path in what was, at a time, a rough and ready macho subculture. He told me there were many days when he asked himself, should I just give up? Should I just walk away? In the end, it was his love for and dedication for the sport that kept him pushing through the dark. Ken's message to the younger generation is if you have a dream, whether that be pro wrestling, coming out, finding your true self and calling, you can reach out to your community. There are people to talk to. There are people who will help. It is clear that Ken's service to the community extends far beyond the boundaries of the squared circle, and he should be proud that because of people like him, the younger generation no longer have to do it all by themselves. Deputy Speaker, Ken is the embodiment of the Australian spirit. This is the spirit that makes our nation the lucky country. It's not chance, it's not fate. It is the choice and grit of people like Ken, who create and sustain our community. They make it a diverse, open and inclusive nation that we can all be very proud of. Congratulations, Ken. You absolutely deserve this award.